Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday night. I'm rather late, but tonight was date night. And hi, Miss Ashante. Thank you very much for dinner. It was awesome. Today was a good day. And there's Miss Ashante. There's Miss Khaleesi up there on the on top of my shelf. Mr. Gomi is camped out on my bed. Let's see. There he is. Knocked out. Yeah. So, today, and that is technically correct, today, we're going to be looking at, not sure how many, you might, it's not, you might have heard of it before, but, the Hinterkaifek murders, it's, an unsolved murder case. I believe it's from Germany. And there's some really fucking weird shit going on with it. Like you can well, we'll see. It's about a half an hour. But it's by Roanoke Tales. He does some really good work. He has a couple of different channels. His other channel is he does a lot of like explanations of fictitious diseases from movies and video games, and compares them to real diseases and how they could possibly work functionally, and goes through some of the dumber what do you call it? Pop science, fake science, whatever, like explanations that just kind of hand wave things away with technology. He goes through all of that stuff. So he's really fucking good. But lately he's been, well, not lately, but for a while he's been doing another channel that's just it's called Roanoke Tales, and that's what we're going to be getting into first before we sink into Death Stranding, and we'll see how long I can tolerate Kojima's cutscenes, because woof, woof. That's all I got to say about them. I mean, they're nice, they're beautiful, it's great, it's an enjoyable game. But woof. Anyway, so let's observe tradition. Hope that you have something to drink, something to snack on. I've got in an effort to eat better. Again, thank you for dinner tonight, Ms. Shante. It was a healthy option as well. But in a continued effort to eat better, I got some yogurt, and it's not the regular kind, it's the skyr, and I've never had it before, so I'm going to see how that is. But yeah, so there's my snack, and as far as smoke goes, I'm chilling on the Springfield Farms disposable Kato bars for my nicotine, and as you know, the dad, which we're gonna do now. Bless you. Let me they both heard that noise. The treat box. Alright. So everybody got the treats. Let me see if Quattro's in here. Quattro is not in the house right now. Once again, music is provided by Total Eclipse. Thank you very much, good sir. So I was sitting here several hours ago, say 5:30, 6 o'clock, sitting here doom scrolling my fucking face off. And Mrs. Shante calls me and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, nothing, doom scrolling. And she's like, "Well, you want to come over for a while?" you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. She's been dealing with her stuff, and frankly, I've been trying to get a handle on my sleeping schedule, trying to balance this with this meaning the channel, and a healthy work schedule and a healthy sleep schedule. Bless you, baby. And I would rather do it now while while I can still get a handle on it. I'm a night owl. That's why I do these streams late at night. One, because I mean it's not entirely where my audience is on, but I primarily. No, I only cater to an adult audience. I'm not interested in capturing that demographic. Just not. I don't know. Besides, none of my content is really suitable for a younger audience anyway. Not that I have anything controversial or anything, obviously, but just because I don't want to have to watch my words or anything like that, and I don't want to have to police myself. Yeah, so this show is primarily aimed at really let's see, what are the primary demographics for what is it, 18 to 34? I'm more for the 18 to 45, maybe even older than that. Let's see. Audience. Right now, right now I'm smack dab center in the 18 to 34 audience. As my primaries, and that's kind of where I want to be. Although I do, I am interested in the 35 to 54 age range, because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in the middle of that age range, my content can reach the casual gamer dad or the elder gamer like myself who's looking for the right games to focus the energy that we have for video games in a right direction, that might be good for them. And I realize that, like, these are my tastes too, but I think serve a certain sect of the audience that thinks like I do. Where I like my video games, I like my lore, I like my pop culture and industry news. Although I don't express it or do anything with politics, I'm interested in the politics of my time. Like it's all stuff that is important to me today. So, 18 to 54 is kind of my demographic that I'm reaching for. And I serve all the smokers out there who are looking for decent products or some how-tos, customer service type stuff. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer what I can. I've spent most of my career, my professional life in the customer service or service industry, whatever form that may take. I don't do the food industry. I don't like. It's not that I don't like it. Like the business of food. Ooh, there's too much overhead. Some parts of it's nice though, and I have spent a fair number of years in the food service industry, but it's not where I wanted to be. I prefer small retail. One, because of the autonomy, and two, the closer relationship that I have with customers. I am fully of the belief that a good relationship with your customers is a key to keeping your business successful, not just making it, but keeping it that way. I'm lucky enough to where, like, I interface with my customers every day, all the time. They're my customers. I get protective when I'm not the one that's serving them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when there's somebody else that's working my shift, or if they're not providing, I'm worried about them not providing the level of customer service that they expect from our store when I'm working. And it's not because they aren't good at their job, it's just I have a particular set of skills that I have acquired over a long period of time, and a lot of those happen to do with smoking. Yeah, baby. most of the people that I work with, in fact, everyone that I work with does not smoke. I'm the only smoker in the shop. Which means that most of the time it falls on me to be the most familiar with my products. Have I smoked them? What are they like? What can I use it for? Like, say, for like pain relief or anxiety or sleeping or any things like that. Or like, hey, I need a joint roller, or I need incense, or I need pipe cleaners, or I need that go juice, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Or because I'm a regular smoker, the nicotine vapes. Like I do feature things that I carry in my store, and most of the time I don't do nicotine related stuff because it varies wildly from store to store exactly what you're carrying. I mean, there's some things that we all carry, like elf bars, or hide if you're still carrying those like I am. I still have some left, but other than certain mainstays like elf bars one, Escobar is another, and I think everything else is kind of dependent. Like I carry Lava Blast and Fume and Orion, and like 7 other brands, depending on which part of the shelf you're looking at. Pop bars and Bang bars and Diamond, all kinds of stuff. But I have to know about it. Like I have to know what they taste like. Are they good? Is the charge good? How long do they last? As far as like the juice or the battery, like any number of things. It's easier with the nicotine vapes because sometimes my boss, my boss has an on again, off again a love affair with cigarettes and nicotine in general. So he can usually get along just fine in that category. But him and I are the only ones that have any experience smoking. So yeah, sometimes I'm worried that somebody's getting the wrong item that they came in for, or they got the wrong advice, or that they just and I hear about it, like when I come in the next time I work, like, hey man, I was looking for this and they gave me that, and I'm like, yeah. Sorry. Wish I was here. Now. But the customer service thing, yeah, it's my gig. So to wrap all of that rambling up, if you have any questions about unclogging your vapes, your CBD or your THC vapes, or questions about batteries, I'm not an electrician or anything, so I can't tell you about the wiring and shit like that, but like if you tell me what a pen is doing, I can usually somewhat guess what it might be doing or what it might be indicating to you, and there's all kinds of things that I can help with, so let me know. Now that I've talked myself into oblivion, let's. See, I don't know if I want to sit here for a fucking half an hour and watch something. Let's see what's yeah, fuck it. Let's just do it. Huzzah!
On a small isolated farm where a family rarely got out and talked to people and other Alabama things would be taking place, the entire group would go missing, which would take others like days to find them, and it was only because they hadn't turned up in a while. When the neighbors would finally search the property, what they would find was a horrific scene and absolutely zero answers as to who was responsible or how it even happened. This would lead to accusations of over 100 people and up to a dozen or more getting arrested, but they just later got released because the cops really didn't have any evidence. But because the cops couldn't actually make any arrests, this would start putting pressures on them to actually make an arrest. People don't like actually being in a town with some serial killer just running around taking people out. So this is the bizarre story of the Hinterkaifek killings, and I got that off of pronouncedgerman.com, of which I likely will brutalize a lot of names in here because I'm not German, I'm American, and I don't speak German, and if you've watched this channel before, you know I suck with dialect, so it's just how it is in life. But get ready, because again, this is based in Germany. My wife being German, I probably could have asked her, didn't. We're just gonna go with me. Trust me, it's probably gonna be okay.
This is gonna be awesome.
The event is one where you might expect something like this to happen, given like all the factors around it and how just isolated these people were. This happens to be roughly about an hour or so's drive south from Munich, which is renowned for its beer halls, and nothing else bad happened there. The farm lay about a half mile or so behind the town of Kaifek, hence why it was called Hinterkaifek, hinter meaning behind. Initially, this farm was built back in 1863 and would remain the family's farm for quite some time. The family was quite sizable, numbering to about 6, and they were Andreas Gruber, who was 63, Kazia Gruber, which is 72, their widowed daughter, Victoria Gabriel, age 35, Victoria's children, Kazila, age 7, and Joseph, age 2. Around this time, there was also a maid who was about 44 years old. These 6 had lived together, but things were not always like just rainbows and sunshine on Happy Family Fun Time farm, whatever. Actually, things were pretty gross, believe it or not, in the 1920s in a farm where everybody was isolated, if you can imagine. See, accusations started popping up about maybe something was going down at the farm, and there was some concern. 7 years prior to the actual event that would take place, a charge of incest between Andreas and Victoria would crop up. And it would be confirmed that it was going on. So, as they were put on trial, they'd be found guilty, where Andreas would serve 1 year in prison, and Victoria would serve about a year, or some people say it was only about a month, but basically they didn't serve a lot of time. But the records are really unclear about how much time was served between the two of them. Because of this, it is assumed that Joseph was the result of this union. Pretty nasty. But others believed it belonged to a different man, but we will get there here in a moment. So, time would pass as time tends to do.
See, I don't think I remember the incest part from the last time I heard about this story, so that adds a new element to the weirdness, and maybe it was an inside job, or maybe it was somebody who was like, yo, these motherfuckers are unholy and they need to go. I don't know. Let's see.
You guys know, you were there a few minutes ago. And time would also be served. and life would continue moving on. Roughly 6.5 years later, other strange things would begin to happen on the farm that would herald in what would be the brutal slaying of this family. Around 6 months prior to the family being discovered, the original maid would quit her job as she would hear footsteps in the attic. But whenever anyone would go to check what the actual noise was, nobody was ever found. There's nothing hiding behind any of the stuff that they had in the attic. It was just completely empty. So the maid is like, screw this, I'm out of here. This place is definitely haunted. And that was saving her life. Other odd things began to happen as well, which we could assume would put the family on edge because it's not like they were writing notes about it or anything. Strange occurrences apart from just...
See, doesn't that remind you of like the man or woman living in like a crawl space or your attic and coming out to eat when you're not when you're all asleep? That's fucking creepy.
Footsteps would continue into the days before the family got. A newspaper would turn up on their property that the father said he doesn't remember ordering or doesn't remember getting. Nobody else would take credit for why this newspaper was on their property, so he just assumed, it was probably just the mailman screwing around, accidentally dropped it off here rather than my neighbor down the road. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, information with Papa Roanoke, if there's, like, a bunch of weird little things happening, just all throughout the day, it's probably indicative of something big happening. You just don't notice it yet. So, just Anyways, so he didn't order it. The newspaper was from Munich. The postman screwed up. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. But later on, this would be a little more concerning. They would find footsteps that led from the actual wood line to their house.
Oh, fuck.
And it was only one way. So the father would go and ask, like, hey, does anybody actually know where these footsteps came from? Nobody said anything about going into the woods, it snowing, and then them coming back because it was fresh, undisturbed snow. Now, it is possible somebody could have walked from the house to the wood line, then walked around in the woods and came back the other way, but the footprints didn't match anybody in the family. And this would be another thing that they would just kind of be like, we'll ignore this, not a big deal.
Hell no.
That means somebody's probably in your house, so just throw it out there. So it was around this time that he would actually start telling his neighbors, hey, I think somebody might be around my property, I'm seeing footprints come towards my house, and I just need you guys to know this is happening.
Especially if you've got several buildings on your farm, like, you can't account for, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are other structures where this motherfucker could be hiding when you're in the house, or when you're looking for him, he's like hiding over there, you know what I'm saying? Like, or hiding out in the woods. Like hightailing into the wood line when somebody's like, there's weird shit going on my farm. I don't know how you could forget that there were fucking footsteps on your farm, but, let's continue.
So the neighbors are pretty concerned, so they're like, oh, hey, well, how about I give you this firearm, and then you take that, and that way, if something happens, you'll have a counter to all these issues. And this guy, I don't know, it's Europeans versus Americans. I'm pretty much pro 2A, so stay strapped or get clapped. But for some reason, he decided that, no, I don't need this. I'm just going to kind of risk it to get biscuit on my own. So you're about to find out that's not really a good thing that happened. Also, I just want to point out, it is possible, because it was the 1920s, their life was pretty bad, obviously. You had, like, famines, and it was the 1920s, so World War I just happened. But the big thing, I think, to kind of take away...
Yeah, things are already bad for Germany right now. Like, they just lost World War I. And there's already, there's brewing resentments and tensions inside Germany because they lost World War I. That's where that fucking total fucking asshole that fucking started World War II. Anyway, so yeah, Germany's not really having a good fucking time right now. I would imagine there's, let's see, this is 1910, 11. So yeah, I think like the sciences are trying to develop at this time as well.
It seems like people were more trusting back then. I know in the U.S., up until like the 60s and 70s, people left their front doors unlocked. Could not be me. But then again, they call me paranoid. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like that's just how people rolled back then. So this would continue on for a while.
Well, when you're on a farm that is like very far from other people, maybe. Locks were also rather rudimentary. I wouldn't say they were bad or anything, but they were definitely like if you weren't like a rich person or a or someone that just like fancied his very indestructible locks, you wouldn't have the best of security on your farm. At the best, you have like a shotgun or something like that, or whatever they had back then. Yeah, it'd been shotguns. So, an axe or whatever.
And as the time at hand kind of grew closer, Andreas would notice that outside that he would just find footprints, right, that didn't apparently belong to anybody until finally he found some footprints that would go to the machine shed, which has all the tools that you could ever want, big bludgeoning weapons and
this guy is advertising that he's gonna come fuck your shit up, and you're just, huh? There's some weird footprints, huh? Why are they going to the? Why are they going to the tool shed? Why is? Oh no, the imprint where the axe should be it's not there.
Sharp weapons and basically stuff to till up the ground with, and found that the lock had been broken off. Again, this is all of the farm's equipment, so in the wrong hands, it's not really going to be a great situation. So this would be the last warning that they would receive that something was about to happen, and all of these red flags were still ignored, despite
it's very weird.
His neighbors, and then his neighbors becoming increasingly concerned about the safety of the family. Despite this, however, nobody would report any of these details to the police, so nobody would be stationed over there to make sure nothing happened, and instead, horrible things were allowed to happen. Now, it is unclear whether or not this would impact the family. I know Andreas is said to have just refused help outright, as it was his own problems, his own family, so it's like, nah, whatever. But it's highly unlikely that this would have caused several interpersonal conflicts with one another. In fact, it was said that just prior to the actual killings, Victoria would apparently flee into the woods due to like a domestic dispute sort of deal. And this was reported by Kazila, Victoria's daughter, and not her grandmother. Or Victoria's mother it's basically like a junior situation, right? So, but she would ultimately be found a few hours later and then brought back home. But after the reporting, and after this was like the last thing that was said, everything would kind of go silent. And during the afternoon of March 31st, 1922, a new maid would arrive to go with the family and take care of the household because the old one, as we know, had bailed out of there, which was the smart thing to do. The sister of this maid claims that when she arrived during the afternoon of March 31st, everybody was still alive, everybody was still kicking, there were no problems. From here, it all goes wrong. Late that evening, the trap was set and the plan was carried out by whoever the perpetrator was. Victoria Gabriel, her daughter, Kazila, her parents, Andreas and Kazila, would be lured into the family barn one by one, where they would each meet their fate. Likely someone was calling out to them individually at first. However, this is disputed later, as you could not hear anybody screaming in the barn for anything if you were, say, in the living area of the house. So the concept kind of came into play that maybe it was the animals were riled up because somebody was in there, and individually people went and checked. But this would be really, really bad. If you ever hear anything riled up like your animals, grab a buddy.
Yeah. And a weapon.
Cold steel. What is it? The Lord made men and women not proportional or not equal in strength, but Samuel Colt made us all equals. That's all I'm saying. So whoever was out there was actually waiting for them with a mattock. And if you don't know what a mattock is, basically like a big pickaxe that you use to tilt the dirt.
So was this execution? Like, because I can see I can see a church angle here, or like a religio-social dynamic or mechanic going on here, like where there's like a not mechanic mechanism going on here, where like they did not like what this family was fucking up to. They were maybe maybe it was one of those things where we're like, yo, they're making our town look bad. They need to go. Or it could have been a madman, but it just feels like this was like if he led everyone one by one to the barn and just off. Like, I mean, like an entire like 6 people. I mean, yeah, like serial. I mean, I guess. I mean, that's just mind-boggling the amount of evil in those set of actions right there. With that, those are heavy like you literally like you goddamn like you popped every good god man. My condolences to the goddamn.
I had to do a lot of work as a kid, and I used a matic, and it was about as heavy as
Yeah.
me. So if you can swing that thing, it's pretty much
It's
like a
game
two-handed
over.
weapon. It's
Yeah,
big
it's
and
a
heavy
weapon.
and metal.
It's a weapon.
So, but when the person would come in, he would swing it, hit him in the head, take him out. Wait for the next person to come in, hit him in the head, take him out. Basically, he kept doing
One
this,
second.
which resulted.
Yeah, what man? Okay. All right. He's working. He's got a fucking anyway. Um.
Resulted in instantaneous kind of game overs for every person who got hit in the head, all except one, which we'll talk about. And this is because when the brain gets hit with that much force, it cracks through the skull, which a matic absolutely would crack through a skull with ease.
Yeah.
The brain is going to start hemorrhaging pretty much immediately, and once that happens, there's not much that can be done unless you're on an operating table at that point. But even then, it can get kind of sketchy. You also got to readjust this chair. But after he took out all 4 of them, he would then go into the house because he knew 2 more people were in there, and that was the maid and Joseph. He would then move into the living quarters where he would take out Joseph sleeping in his bassinet with a hit in the face. Then moving over to the maid, taking her out in her bedchamber, she was hit with 2 crossblows. Now this is disturbing enough. I mean, you should be disturbed by this. It's not a great situation, but the real issue is nobody would notice for over 4 days. 2 events would happen that would alert the neighbors that something was amiss, however. The first is that their mail began to pile up at the end of the driveway, indicating that nobody had gone to get the mail or to check on anything, meaning that, for 4 days, was somebody in the house, was somebody not in the house? They also didn't tell any neighbors that they were leaving, and this was 1920, so probably people were a little closer back then and would discuss those things with their actual neighbors. But the other second indication that something was wrong is Kazila was actually not going to school, and her teachers would start to notice her absence, which is also not ideal. Of course, it doesn't work like today's system where you have just a bunch of like, oh, you missed 4 classes, well, you're going to jail now. You could probably miss a lot more schooling back then, but it was still very important. And teachers, if you show up every day, they would still notice your absence.
Yeah.
And they might become a little concerned, which means they would probably talk to somebody. And that
People weren't barbarians just because it was way back when. I mean there was still fucking
where are they?
a way to things.
School. I just said a word that on YouTube gets comments turned off, which would be fantastic. So on April 1st, one day after the attack, some men would also show up to the farm, as they had discussed earlier with the farmers and like the entire family about selling them coffee. Interestingly enough, this is something that they did back in the day. So they showed up by the names of Hans Scherwowski and Edward Scherwowski. Probably right. They would then go and knock on the door, but nobody would respond. Walking around the property, as they were quite dedicated to their coffee selling, they would find no one and notice that the gate to the machine shed had been opened, but they decided to leave at this point because they were walking around somebody else's property. As time continued to pass, the aforementioned absences from school would pile up, alerting people that there was actually an issue. And when the family also failed to show up to church that Sunday, people really began to be concerned about the family's well-being. Later, another man would come to the
Okay,
farm
so they
and
were
look for
church
a
going.
coffin.
Okay.
He was a mechanic. There was a request made to him to come fix an engine on the farm. I'm not exactly sure what, probably a tractor, on April 4th. He would wait around for an hour or so after arriving and hearing nothing from the family, and really just only hearing farm animals and dogs running around. He just said, screw it. I haven't seen them. I'm just going to go ahead and work on the engine. He said it took him about 4.5 hours to finish up the repair, but he didn't hear anything. He went and knocked on the doors, absolutely nothing, walked around the house, didn't see anything. He did see that the machine shed had been opened, and also, I believe it was the barn was open as well, but he didn't go and check anything out because he's a mechanic. Why would he want to do that?
Privacy.
3:30 p.m. that day, neighbor Lorenz Schlittenbauer, got that
Schlittenbauer.
one right, had enough, and he needed to know what exactly had happened to the family. He would send his son Johann and his stepson Josef, small world, to see if they could make contact with the family and make sure that they were okay. The sons would return back with no new information, as stated before, because they didn't make contact with the family. So like, I guess they're not in here. They didn't really search. Again, if I went to somebody else's property and I was supposed to be looking around and I couldn't find what I needed to find, I probably wouldn't go and like look.
Yeah, if you go to somebody's property and nobody is there, you don't want to stay too long because just one, like you might get accused of trespassing, and two, somebody might actually fucking shoot you for trespassing. And both are equally terrifying.
Look in their property.
Although one you can explain.
Just kind of do a cursory glance, so I don't really blame him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, Lorenz has had enough. He's like, I have to figure out what happened to this family. It's been 4 days, their mail's piling up. Nobody said anything. And remember, it's 1920s. I mean, the plague wasn't around, but you never know. Things happen. You get into some contaminated water. Everybody's just dying of food poisoning in there. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen at this time. So at this point, Lorenz apparently became very concerned enough to rally up a posse and return back to the farm with Michael Pohl.
Hey viewer, how you doing?
Siegel.
We are learning about the Hinterkaifek murders. A family of 6 was brutally murdered, like the whole family just murked by somebody with a mattock, like one of those pickaxe type things. And everybody keeps coming to the farm, but they keep leaving because they're minding their own business and fucking, they're only taking cursory glances and stuff like that. But they haven't showed up to school, and some dude came to fix their tractor, and it was oh, there he goes. Well, hope you come back. So now we can continue.
Search of the property, they would enter the barn and find the bodies of Andrews Gruber and his wife Kezia Gruber, as well as his daughter Victoria Gruber and his granddaughter Kezia. Observing the head wounds, they would then break into the house to find the maid had been taken out along with Joseph, except wasn't really breaking in, and we'll kind of get to that here in a second. So the murder mystery would immediately spark massive concerns amongst the entire town, as dozens of people would arrive at the crime scene to ruin it and try to figure out what happened. Therein lies the issue, though, as I just said. Because so many people turned up, thinking they were helping, they weren't really helping. Actually, the crime scene was virtually destroyed, and all clues that would have helped solve the case were lost forever, which made things much more difficult later on. This presented an issue for the police investigators that would get involved, as there was no reliable evidence to draw from. Plus, around this time, we're still roughly 70 years away from cracking the human genome, and DNA analysis was not even something that would have been dreamt of around this time. However, this didn't leave the police completely in the dark, as they would still attempt to figure out who actually did this. Inspector George Reingruber would be put in charge of discovering what had happened. He was heading up this investigation from the Department of Investigated Killings. The Germans have such a way with words, that's all I'm saying. The bodies would be taken to have autopsies performed on them to determine what exactly had happened. You would think that, they could figure out from like the head wounds and how they looked that probably that's what ended them, but actually autopsies are very important. If you use them correctly, you can figure out a lot more ways that people have actually bit the dust. In fact, I remember there was this one story of this, I think this woman was poisoning her husband, and then I can't remember if he actually bit the dust or not, but the big thing is that what had happened to him didn't suggest that he was dealing with poisoning, but he actually was. So I think it was like he sustained some sort of injury, and then they found the poison in the system, which confirmed that the wife was doing this. So it was one of those deals. But anyways, it doesn't matter. That's why autopsies are important. I can't remember if he was alive or not.
That is pretty cool.
Figure that out. So the physician, Johann Baptist, would establish that a mattock had been used even though this was not located at the actual crime scene of the attack. But horrifically, it wasn't an instant knockout for everyone, and this actually would shed some information later that might kind of help us identify, or not help us, but help them identify who actually did this. Kazila, the granddaughter, appears to have survived the initial head injury and then tore out tufts of her own hair, spending hours in the barn stacked up with others in a state of shock.
Holy
shit.
shit.
Were taken and sent to Munich for examination, or further examination after this point. So around this time, the cops were really scratching their heads because the usual suspect of motives did not seem to be a reality. At first, it was assumed that maybe it was just a robbery, but when checking inside, there was nothing really stolen. In fact, they had a ton of money that apparently, a lot of people knew this for some reason, the family had all this money sitting in there, but it was never taken, which is very, I don't know, strange, but also something to remember that actually this is more of a history thing. Around this time, the German franc, if I remember correctly, was plummeting in value because this is on the heels of World War I, and basically the Triple Entente was punishing Germany especially for the war. So you could have tons and tons of money, but it really meant nothing. And that's actually what would partially lead to World War II. But one of the more weird aspects about this case is all the money was there, all the valuables were still there, nothing seemed to be wanting to be taken, so it wasn't just a robbery or a robbery gone wrong. This was an actual, like, I'm going after these people sort of scenario. But for 4 days, that in between when these people got and when the neighbors finally came to check on them, somebody fed the animals, fed the dogs, like the farm animals, fed the dogs, and lived in the house for 4 days. There's like a few examples of people actually seeing this if they didn't know who the person was. So meals were found eaten in the home, showing they remained there. Several fires, like I said, were lit in the hearth. It was also found after searching the property that apparently 2 keys had gone missing. Around 3 a.m., a butcher that was heading home said that he would spot 2 unknown figures near the edge of the forest near Brunnen. As he approached, they would hide their faces as not to be recognized, allowing him to get a good look, or not allowing him to get a good look, so that they couldn't be identified later. Because of the proximity of the murder location and the sketchiness of these 2 men, he is believed to have thought, well, he's not believed to have thought, he pretty much thought, okay, these people must be involved. The night after the crime, a man by the name of Michael Lockel would pass by the farmstead where he looked at the chimney and saw the hearth had obviously been lit by somebody. But the problem was, had it been the family, like from the day before, it would have already gone out, so it could not have been them. He also stated that the smoke had a disgusting smell, but considering the bodies were discovered and none of them had been burned, it was assumed that he must have just smelled something else, and it was never really investigated because there's nothing that would have caused that scent because everybody was still there in their total form, I suppose. Years later, another stranger would actually drift through the town in May of 1927, where he stopped a resident of Weidhofen around midnight. Now, I don't really know why all these people are just running around in the middle of the night, but the stranger would then ask some questions about the murder in the area before yelling about how he was taking ownership of it, and then would go running off in the woods, never to be seen again. But that's probably just a crackhead from Philadelphia. Investigators would start a list of who it could have possibly been that conducted this heinous act, and the first person to talk to would be the former maid, who apparently completely lucked out listening to her gut instinct. Questioning her, she would say that she had an uneasy feeling the entire time she was there, ever since the footsteps had actually started.
Yeah.
She said that it was like being watched, or something was unsettling about the whole house, like you were constantly, somebody was looking at you. But this still did not shed any light on the family and where they went or who attacked, because, you know, the feeling of being watched, I mean, yeah, you know, it's probably pretty bad. But I think getting hit in the head with a mattock is worse, so it's not like it gives you any much more information. But suspicion around this time would settle firmly on the men surrounding the family, mainly because the farm wasn't really a nice, calm oasis of peace, love, joy, and prosperity. It had several problems. So as we know, Victoria was a widow. Her husband, Carl Gabriel, had allegedly met his end in France during World War I. This is alleged because some soldiers say that they saw the body, and others say that didn't actually happen, and there's no consensus, or at least on him being KIA. So, you know, you never know. And this couple with just prior to the war, Carl had separated from Victoria for reasons that are not quite known, but what is known is he was still living with his parents before he went into the war. Some have suggested, because of Victoria's propensity to engage in incestuous activities and the fact that Josef seemed to come out of nowhere, it was possible that Carl discovered her hooking up with her dad and was like, done, which that's a pretty normal response.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah. Oh. So it's like this. All right. I knew it was weird. I knew it felt weird in here. All right. I'm out. Yeah. See you later.
another reason this is up for debate is because there is a discrepancy whether Carl did actually meet his end in France, but also because some actually claim during World War II they saw him in a Soviet uniform, which, again, Germany wasn't doing so hot around this time. It wouldn't be the wildest thing in the world to try to escape simply to get out of the financial hardships that were kind of happening. So, I mean,
go somewhere where the money is worth something.
Would you move away if all of your money was worthless, or would you just keep hanging out? It's a tough choice. So, two things.
Money, no. Land, yes.
Currently, humanity has never been more connected. In current time, not back then time. Humanity has never been more connected, but we're more lonely as well and on edge because of the internet. During this time frame, it was not impossible for a man to literally have a second family a town away. Word did not just travel like it does now. On top of this, it was really easy to just disappear if you moved far enough away. The thing to know about this attack is it appears whoever perpetrated it knew their way around the farm, meaning that they had to be somewhat close to the family. So it is possible Carl witnessing the absolute horrors of World War I, which back then, if you had PTSD...
You know, that's interesting. So I'm not sure, but if the infidelity mixed with the familial relations, like that was like, all right, I'm done, I'm out, I'm gonna go fight, and then you come back and you've already been through some war and shit, and you fucking yeah, I can see somebody snapping like that if that's the way it went.
And you weren't dealing with it very well, you were just basically considered a coward, which nowadays we know is an actual neurological response to seeing something no human should ever have to see. And that is very unfortunate that happens, but that is humanity as a whole. We're just kind of screwing with each other. It's not a great time. So,
yeah,
is it a possibility that maybe he came back and was suffering from PTSD and took out his family? Because that does happen, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It could have been. But the theories kind of cropping up, maybe what else happened, seem a little bit more feasible because, again, some confirmed that Carl had already bitten the dust, while others were like, no, he's still alive. It's just the other ones kind of make more sense. Lorenz Schlittenbauer had a massive target on his back during this investigation. Victoria had a relationship with Lorenz during the time, and when he was the one to lead the charge to investigate the family farmstead, this looks suspicious. Now, the thing is, it's not uncommon for killers to actually return back to the crime scene in some way or another, even to help search, because they want to see the fruits of their labor and they want to see how other people are.
Yeah, and maybe recover something as an heirloom, or not an heirloom, as a trophy, or something that they missed that can implicate them. There are all kinds of there are all kinds of reasons that they would want to go back. Yeah.
Reacting to it. It's kind of a twisted thing, but anyone who takes up the mantle to actually help or search for people are looked at suspiciously because it happens enough that those who are the first to act in any of these situations may be the ones who have knowledge of it, and they're like, this is taking too long for their actions to be discovered. Why is nobody talking about this yet? So they will kind of prod it to get the thing moving. So prior to the killings, it should also be noticed that Lorenz and Victoria both referred to Josef as their son, and with this, Lorenz also started acting a little sus. See, when the group arrived, They had to break a gate to enter the barn because the door was locked. That seems pretty normal. However, what wasn't normal is when they went to the front door to get in, Lorenz just straight up unlocked it with a key he just happened to have. And with the knowledge that some of the keys had gone missing, as reported by the family earlier, prior to their end, it would seem a little weird for him to have a key, right? So this is explained, though, by the fact that Lorenz and Victoria had gone heels to Jesus already, so she likely gave him a key to her home. What's even more concerning, though, is he would actually go into the house alone, and the men would question him, if there could be a killer in there, why would you go in there if you didn't know? And he didn't really have an answer, but instead he's like, well, I had to check on Yosef. And he was in there for a little while by himself.
Yeah, contaminating the fucking crime scene and shit, and fucking all kinds of sus, man. I told you there were some weird things with this with this one.
So they think it's possible he may have disturbed the crime scene even further, thus making it impossible to track him down, or to track him to the crime. Oh, and there was one comment in particular that was really just completely off. He stated that the killer seems to have tried to bury them, but the ground was frozen, so it was too tough. Sure, okay. He was from there, so maybe he knew the soil, and that's why he decided to say that. But it seems a little weird to offer that information up just
yeah.
being prompted. With Carl and
I mean, it appears that they tried to bury the bodies, but the ground was still frozen. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
And Lorenz seemingly having no connection, even though he just said what he just said. Others were considered, but nothing would come out of it. And then in the barn belonging to some brothers, Carl and Andreas. Everyone has the same name apparently, and that Andreas had lost his knife at some point, but it was never confirmed to actually been his because penknives are pretty common, so it's not really mattered. Another who would be accused was the Gump brothers. They would be investigated as their sister claimed on her deathbed the two committed murders, but Adolf Gump had already shuffled his mortal coil, and Anton Gump would be released for lack of evidence. Another man by the name of Peter Weber apparently had worked the farm from 1919 to 1920, where he would write to another man by the name of Betts. He would suggest that they take the family out for the large sum of money that they had in their house. But after Betts didn't respond, Weber would drop the idea entirely, or so Betts assumed, because who really knows? Because of the family fortune that everyone seemed to know about, hence why you keep your money out of eyesight, you never tell anybody you got it, and you just kind of hide it in your couch or something. The Bichler brothers, or Bickler brothers, and George Siegel would be brought into an accusational front because they also seemed a little sus. They helped to bring a potato harvest in and knew the layout of the farm and the home as a result. They also suggested that the family should be dead in a passing comment.
Jesus.
Everybody wanted to murder this family, apparently. That's the one takeaway here. The maid who was left would tell the investigators that the farm dog barked at everyone, but never barked at Anton for some reason. She suggested that Siegel had broken into the home in November of 1920 and stole many things, but he denied it. Because, of course, this dude also is connected because he stated, yeah, I carved the handle of that Matic, but I didn't use it as a murder weapon. So did they tell him he used a Matic, or did he just kind of offer that information up? It's kind of unclear. I assume they showed him the murder weapon. I would have to assume that. I'm not 100% certain. I don't know. So he said just because I carved an intricate thing into it doesn't mean that I used it, which is true. I mean, you can't just say, hey, you touched this at one time and then it got used later for something else, so you are obviously the murderer. Otherwise, that, we would all be screwed. But the strangest thing about all this is that despite the blame of the robberies and the workers being a little strange, in all situations, no matter who they accused, the money was still in the house. Nobody took it.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
weird.
They were there to rob the place,
that is super
and
weird.
The family just happened to be in the way and it went wrong. Why did they leave the money? And along with this, why would they stay at the crime scene for days and risk being caught red-handed? What is the purpose of any of this? One man
So
completely
I'm more likely to think that it's probably the ex-husband, because it seems like a crime of passion. But I kind of feel like there's multiple people involved in this. Um, and and here's the thing. Um, Sometimes people have stupid plans that don't go the way they should, and people end up dying for no reason at all. Unfortunately, the whole drawing everybody out to the barn one by one and popping them like cherries. Um, I That's very personal or very deliberately serial killer type stalker. Like, these are my prey. I'm not here for anything else but the death. And there's the weird thing about awful smells coming out of the chimney afterwards.
Connected to this. And from my home country of USA, baby, but this is not a good way, it stands out because it may help to explain what were the motives behind this attack. Sometimes you just run across sick people that really wonder why they're still around and why our taxes are keeping them alive when a 9mm round is like, what, 50 cents?
Yep.
His MO was to randomly invade homes during the nighttime and take out the family, as he had a propensity to go after homes that were far from civilization and unfortunately housed female pre-adults. Yeah, he's kind of a real sick POS. I'd say the real version, but you see. So this may explain why Kazila was alive for hours while her family was not. You hope that's not the case, but this is kind of horrific no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah.
So he ended up fleeing the United States when...
We are, after all, looking for motives why this was done in the first place. Or who, why and who. So, you've got to consider the worst possible scenarios.
American newspapers started putting together patterns of attacks as someone who uses a blunt-edged farm tool and a habit of stacking bodies. This is like literally stacking them, and this is what they found with his family. So at the time, the term serial killer didn't really exist because nobody knew what sort of person would do this. I believe John Wayne Gacy was the first serial killer.
H.H. Holmes, hell yeah.
Sure. But
that motherfucker. That's somebody
time,
else we need to cover on this channel.
Based on the date taken from the U.S. slangs, the patterns match up almost perfectly to the slangs of the Google family.
Fuck. What's the show about the brothers? The Winchester brothers. There was an episode about H.H. Holmes and the Murder Hotel. Check that out. I will be doing something on that. That's a really cool, horrific, but it's a really cool topic.
Actually did it. Well, the general consensus is it's a toss-up between Mueller and someone else. Wholly unsatisfying, as justice was never served, but Paul Mueller, being from the United States, having the same MO, it just kind of lines up with him fleeing and then going over to Europe. The investigators would also make mistakes from the people that came in to the crime scenes. They weren't able to get the stuff that they actually needed, like the evidence, and then on top of that, even though it was common at the time to take actual fingerprints of the crime scene, they didn't do it. Nobody really knows why. So with all the extraneous comments...
See what I'm saying? Shit just seems
it's
weird.
It's hard to put into view who exactly committed the crime, because everybody kind of almost seems like a little guilty of this. I mean, for all we know, it could have just been like a traveling carny or some just random drifter, because even to this day, like today, let's say somebody wanders into town and takes out another person and then just leaves. As long as they're not captured on like CCTV or a Ring doorbell or nobody saw them, you actually will have an extremely difficult time finding these people because nobody knows who they are, so you don't really know what you're even looking for, unless they're already like in the database and you find some DNA. Which, considering 23andMe, most people are in a database now, myself included. It makes it incredibly difficult to figure out what the connection is or who it may have actually been. I think personally, Lorenz is not likely to have been the culprit, even though he was a little suspicious. Life was tough, and people had just witnessed a devastating war, so likely they were a little more stoic than they are now, and just may not have reacted to seeing terrible things like we would if you haven't already seen horrible things. Basically, if I remember correctly,
We have
going
just
through,
had
war sort of
existential
expands
war.
people's
We
ability
do
to see
not
terrible
care
things
about the
to just kinda
bodies
keep
on the
going,
floor.
Oof, it's not great. Any of the other people accused, their whole MO would have been, oh, we were here for a robbery, but because everything was there and they didn't steal any money, it makes you think that why would they stick around to begin with? Why didn't they take the money? Why would you want to be around basically people you just took out in a house that you don't own, that at any point somebody could come check up on and spot you, and then you're kind of screwed at that point? The most likely scenario is a serial killer by the name of Paul Mueller, who has just happened to stumble through this town that had high tensions between neighbors, completely separating himself from a list of possible suspects. This would help to explain why he also stayed there for 4 days, where, I mean, anybody else would have probably left because he was a serial killer. Odds
Reminds me of the surface plot of High Tension.
are hanging out near bodies and the farm of the people you just took out in the house. I mean, it likely wasn't really that difficult for him to do because he just pretty much messed up in his head. But all in all, no matter who it was, cautionary tales like this exist as to serve a warning that humanity's greatest threat are other humans.
Yeah,
Because of that,
we are
stay
frighteningly
strapped
fucking
than get
evil
flapped.
people
Because there
sometimes.
is evil out there, but that evil is always susceptible to a 45 caliber round right between the eyes. But anyhow, what do you guys
Shout out to
watching?
Wawa
If you
for the
enjoyed this
blueberry
format, let me
cobbler
know.
coffee. It's
Likely,
so
I will get
good.
better at talking on camera as time kind of goes on, so bear with me on that one. If you hated it, let me know that too, because that drives up engagement. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. If you liked, please leave a like as it gets it out into the algorithm, and subscribing is a great way to stay up to date on when I post. I'll try to get, like I said, better at these as time goes on, but we'll get there.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been on Roanoke Tales. So, you can get my like, my subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, sir. Gilbert Garfield. Oh.
All right, listen up. I've got something to say to all of you right now.
We'll do this one in a little so maybe before we end the night. Oh no, that's fucking 2 hours and 53 fucking minutes. Excuse me, no, we're not doing this. Let's go to Nightmind and see what he's up to anyway. God damn, 2 hours and 53 minutes. Come on, that's like one of my videos. How to world. I mean, if you're gonna watch me play a video game, I'm not gonna cut shit out. You're gonna see how much of a difficulty I had with the game and what you can expect. Like last night with that Natasha fight. Holy shit, I did not expect a fucking boss battle like that. But I will say, one of the cool things, one of the things I really liked about Atomic Heart was like, you were the boss battles are always a nice big surprise. You never know when you're gonna get one. I mean, you might get forewarnings like of something you might fight later on, but it's always a surprise. Um, See, he does long form too. Um, we We've done a couple of the we did a couple of the the mythos, the monument mythos, like the first two seasons. We watched Nightmine's thing on it, I think. Um, there's a couple of things in here I might want to watch. Welcome Home, Perfectly Innocent, Lost Puppet Show. I have to check that out, see what that's about. Um, oh, okay. So there's actually stuff in here to find. Maybe I'll have to do that one then. This one is also some. Okay. So I am gonna go smoke a cigarette, stretch my legs, and then we will get into Death Stranding because I need a palate cleanse from Atomic Heart, and there's only really one thing left to do in Atomic Heart, and that's keep the rings and make my way back to the boss man and do the final whatever, because it might be different this time. But until I go back to that, and really until Diablo 4 comes out, we're gonna be playing Death Stranding, and I'm here for it because it's a pretty good game. It's just God damn the cinematics. I know Kojima. You know, he's. Man, I'm long-winded. He's long-winded. Whatever. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Right. And I hope you enjoyed some snooze time from Mr. Gnome. Where I'm getting ready to jump into Death Stranding. And if you are just joining us in the last video, well, actually, you know what? We're only an hour and 19 minutes. You know what? I'm just going to do this one continuous cut. We're just we're getting ready to jump into Death Stranding now. I'm gonna go ahead and do my dab first. It's a good thing I'm not a drinker, because if I was, like, I would be slumped over by now, because it's already been a long day. Because this is my weekend, I would definitely be having a couple of drinks, but thankfully I am not. I do like Guinness on occasion. I enjoy well, I more so enjoy it when I'm drinking with her, because I'm drinking with her. She happens to enjoy Evan Williams' Bottle and Bond, I think it is. So when she is when she is actually drinking, that's what I have with her. I'm not much into liquor. And I know the Irish relatives are either at least proud that I didn't go that route, or super ashamed. But I prefer the green to everything else. With the exception of maybe psychedelics. And even then, like, that's like an event. And I don't take psychedelics lightly. Yeah, looks like a good dab. It's as pretty as... Huh? Can't. It looks, well, it's hard to say, but it looks as pretty as gold leaf, but infinitely more useful. And there's it's just extract. There's no pollutants, no carbons, nothing. Like, it's no carcinogens. My lungs have gotten a lot better smoking wax instead of flower. I still enjoy my flower every once in a while, but I like pens, carts, and wax much more. And edibles. Edibles are good too. By the way, I gotta get some edibles for Mr. Champagne. And also, once again, total exclips for the music. Royalty-free music that we can use for our streams and videos. Thank you very much, sir. And I just put it on shuffle and let things roll. Also, we got in addition to doing Death Stranding and Diablo 4, Phantom Liberty is dropping, or shadow dropping, hopefully sometime in June or July. That's what the rumors are. Hopefully that's true. I'm very much looking forward to new Cyberpunk. Idris Elba is in the new expansion, so that's going to be really nice. And also apparently Johnny is in as well, and I'm trying to figure out how he fits into all of this. If V doesn't fit into this anymore, like I don't know. We'll have to fucking see. Maybe Johnny is maybe Johnny's beyond the black wall now, and he's part of that whole thing that was hinted to in the last game with what was it? Alt Cunningham? Yeah, there we go. And the AI that helped you at the end of... One second. The AI that looks like Alt Cunningham saying that it is not in fact Johnny's girlfriend. Which means it can be one of those rogue AIs that are preparing to storm the Black Wall and come back into the regular net. So maybe it has to do with that. Maybe it has to do with Mr. Blue Eyes and that whole mission to the casino in space. Or Mr. Blue Eyes in general, who knows? All right. Okay. There we go. All right. Now we're shitting bubbles. So, the last time we met, we were tasked with carrying the now deceased last president of the United States, which we must keep to ourselves. We can't let anybody know that that's who we're carrying. We have to take her body to an incinerator before it goes necrotic and becomes one of those things and creates another crater in another city. The cities in this game are called knots, I think. So let's jump into it. Yeah, her. She literally fucking like jumped out of her fucking deathbed to make a point. That shit was disturbing.
Beginning scan. Scanning Bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Corpse detected.
Sam, this is Die Hard. Dead men explained how to use the cups, right? Use them to check the location of the incinerator.
Okay. It's a little busy. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Sam, I don't think I need to remind you, but every minute counts when transporting corpses for disposal. 48 hours following cardiac arrest, they go necro and become a fresh BT to make our lives hell.
Yeah. That is a long ass fucking road, man. So we're gonna have to go. Alright, so how do you plan your route? Oh. Alright, so there. There. And there. Oh.
President Bridget Strand was the symbol of American Reconstructionism. Even with the country shattered and people scattered to the four winds, she never stopped believing they could be reunited. People held on to their hope that America would rise again because they believed in her. We believe that this country can be rebuilt. America lives on, together with Bridget's undying spirit.
Oh, really? Oh, can I not? Oh, that's so fucking lame. Can I get up over here? Cool.
Have a pleasant journey.
Okay. Let's boogie woogie woogie. Check to see this. Use tab and then select structure menu. Damn it. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to get... Alright, whatever.
Yeah, just like that.
Special device is required to collect crystals like this. Alright.
Sam, he's our man. Much, it's clear to me. There's something that's uncomforting. Your body is away with me, but I'm exactly where I wanna be. But I'm a long way from home.
I know your voice, I know your face. Is there something I cannot replace? Give me hope and give me doubt. Well, I loved you then, but I don't need you now. I'm a long way from home.
Alright, that's not bad. That's not bad.
We're a long way from home. Listen out, don't walk away. I've got nothing more to say.
I won't lie, I kind of like the music presentation.
Now is there anything that I can do?
If there was something missing,
You're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. 'Cause you're a part of me, and I'm a part of you.
Alright, alright.
'Cause you're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. 'Cause you're a part of me, and I'm a part of you.
Part of me wants to believe that this is what he's listening to on his on his personal radio or music system. Oh, look at that. Okay. Which way do we want to? Do we want to take the mountain or do we want to take that? I'm going to go by way of the That's cool.
Just a bit further now.
One second. Much better. Okay. Hmm. Come on. There we go. Good man, good man. All right. Yeah, yeah.
So that's the place, huh?
Good idea. I thought I could save the game. Save a camera, cufflink system, the tab, and select. Oh. Just do it. Just do it. Put it on there. Burn it. That's what we fucking did all this fucking for. I know it's your mother. All right. Maybe not the best thing for the environment, but... Oh no.
Beryllium density in the area is climbing rapidly. Heavy timefall is imminent. Get back here, now.
Sam, burn the other cargo while you're there.
What's this?
BB-28. It's the unit Igor was assigned. It was hooked up to you when we found you in the crater.
Well, why is it here?
Because it's flagged for disposal. Central Knot's gone, and our headquarters along with it. Because that thing didn't do its job. It's all in Igor's logs.
But it's still alive.
It can't be repaired, and it can't survive outside the pod. Pity it if you want, but the decision has been made. It has to go. The director approved the order.
In case there's a quick time event or something. I know we're about to get a handprint or something. Yeah.
Sam, do you copy? Damn it, must have lost you in the blackout. Sam, what's your status? Chiralium density is still increasing.
My status is fucked. There's tons of them.
Must be from the bodies we couldn't get up to the incinerator in time. Comes with the territory, I'm afraid.
Can you sit out the rain?
No. They're closing in on my position. I have to move before they realize I'm in here.
Sam, if one of those things eats you, it'll trigger a void out. You'll come back, sure, but the surrounding area will still be a crater.
I got an idea.
It's Boogie. Uh-oh.
Start, you shit. Maybe you are defective. That's it. Do your thing.
Oh my. Alright.
Keep low. Move cautiously.
Alright. Wonder if there's another. Oh my God. Dude, I'm just trying to get the fuck out of here. That was the worst. Oh, come on, man. Stop! 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 What the fuck, man?
Seriously?
What the fuck, man?
It's okay. It's alright. That's it. Everything's okay. Yeah.
The getting used to the all the different controls is kind of I mean, they're just a lot of it. It's a little bit of a distraction. All the different controls. That's all.
If we ever break these walls down, it's easier said than done. Would I be crazy enough to follow? Only the
I just wanted to see this large stone outcropping up here.
Sam, he's our man.
Alright, yeah, I'm going back that way.
Beginning scan. Scanning Bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Oh, that's nice.
Today's a good day.
Okay.
Welcome to Capital, not City. Proceed to Distribution Center.
Sam, come back to the distribution center. Check the location on your compass.
It's a miracle either of you made it back. When someone with dooms hooks up to a BB, your feelings and memories cause feedback, like with the speaker. It amplifies fears and stress, and runs the risk of taking you to a place from which you will not return. I'm sorry. The BB has been pushed beyond its limits. Disposal is the only option.
Sam, get cleaned up and come to the president's office. We need to talk.
Mads Mikkelsen singing. Never thought I'd hear that one. I think he's gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna keep.
Sam, I thought I told you dudes and BBs were a dangerous combination. Huh, perhaps a shower is in order. You're still covered in chiralium. I don't want the president to see you like that.
What the hell you talking about? She's dead.
You're upset. Is this about BB-28?
Go fuck yourself. I'm not your errand boy.
Well, in any event, it seems it owes you its life.
No, we owe the kid our lives. You too.
As you say, I shall look after it. Give my regards to the president.
It's almost time to go, Sam. Here. It's a dream catcher. Wear it when you sleep, and I'll keep the nightmares away. I'll always be with you.
Amelie, episode 2. Really? He didn't take...
Sayin, this is Di Hartman. There's a private room set aside for your use. Fridge isn't burning. Take a moment to clean up, wash all that chiralium off, then come to the president's office.
Nice product placement. Ah! All right, all right. So that's for the ladies. Thank you for the censorship.
Sam. Sam, can you hear me?
For fuck's sake. Is it anything private anymore?
Oh, no. Except for taking a shower and going to the toilet, that is. I take it you were getting yourself cleaned up. Good. Come to the president's office as soon as you're done. She's waiting for you.
You did well, Sam. Thank you. Bridget may no longer be with us, but her legacy has a chance to live on. Sam, listen to me. America, Reconstructionism, her dream isn't dead.
I don't want to hear it.
This is the face of our new hope, our new America.
Amelie.
My mother may be gone, but I'm here. And you, Sam, you're here too.
Been 10 years since you saw each other, right? And in all that time, she hasn't aged a day.
He knows why. My body's still on the beach. I don't get to grow older. But you do, Sam. You look good.
So you're serious then about reconnecting everyone and everything?
Someone has to succeed Bridget, Sam. More importantly, someone has to carry on her legacy and see our country rebuilt. Samantha America Strand, our new president. A new beginning for our people, for our nation. Under Emily's leadership, we'll re-establish the UCA, the United Cities of America. This is how we'll rebuild our country. But we'll need your help to do it, Sam.
No, I'm through with this. I said my goodbyes to all of you when I said them to Bridget.
We never forgot about you, Sam. You ran away. You cut us off.
Emily put together an expedition. The best of Bridges won. And went west.
I led them past craters in BT territory. I kept them safe while they searched for survivors.
Never once missed a BT. Saw him coming a mile away.
We convinced community after community to join the UCA, and we left behind our own people to help them. It took us 3 years, but we managed to make it all the way to Edgenalt City.
All the way to the Pacific. Jesus.
Yeah. But then everything went to hell. The team was wiped out, and Emily was taken.
taken?
I'm not being kept in a cell or anything like that. I'm allowed to use their facilities and to speak with you whenever I want. I just can't leave the city.
It's all to safeguard the continued independence of Edgenot City. That's what her keepers are saying, at least. They want the UCA to leave them be. Emily's their insurance policy in case we don't.
Who are these assholes again?
Homo Demons. Militant separatist group. They run Edgenot City.
I've heard of them. Bunch of terrorists who go around towns killing people and leaving craters.
Right. Nothing's off limits for them. Not even engineering void outs.
You think the suicide that took out Central Knot was one of theirs?
Could be. There are extremists like the demons everywhere, plotting in the shadows. They're decentralized by nature. No one organization to rule them all. Just a common ideology.
I know not everyone shares our vision. If we Americans don't come together again, humanity won't survive. I carried my mother's message to people all across the country. But not everyone was willing to accept it.
More than a few would rather stay isolated. Keep to themselves. Go it alone. Like you, Sam. They think that America can only be rebuilt by force, by men who tell them what to do, who take away their freedom and put them in shackles.
What'd you put on me, huh? You know better than the demons. Just another kind of cult.
They're not shackles, Sam. They're a symbol of our bonds. That's what we need right now. Not to stand apart, but to come together. To form chiral knots and reconnect.
Sam, we want you to go west and finish what Emily started. The people she left behind have been hard at work, setting up chiral network terminals. But these terminals are still isolated. We need you to bring them online. And for that, you'll need a Cupid. This contains all the necessary security and operations protocols to integrate a terminal into the chiral web. Take the Cupid west, Sam, and reconnect the people of our great nation. And when you get to Edgenot City, find Emily and bring her home.
After that, I'll take over the presidency and carry on Mother's work to save the country.
This was Bridget's dying wish. This is how we'll move forward.
Please, Sam. We need you.
I'm Sam Porter Bridges now. I'm not a Strand. Hell, I'm not even part of this outfit. You all saw to that. I'm not getting involved with you or anyone else. Ever again.
Come on, Sam.
Wait!
See? It's like I'm not even here. Same as it ever was.
Sam! Sam! Hold on. Stop! Listen to me. America needs you. Both of you.
Yeah, covering the world in cable didn't bring an end to war and suffering. Don't act surprised when it all comes apart if you try to do it again. Round and round it goes. Connect, reconnect, it's not that simple.
All right, Sam. Just take it easy. I get it. You don't have to commit to anything now. Why not get some rest?
Good idea. We all need our sleep. Leave it too long and you're liable to reconnect with the other side. The necessary maintenance has been completed. Various adjustments and fine-tuning for your benefit. You can use it again. For once, it would seem that Dooms and BBs are a good combination.
He's like, hi, buddy.
The two of you have something of an affinity for one another.
Listen, you are Sam Strand.
No, I'm not. Not anymore. My name is Sam Porter Bridges.
It's a funny word, Strand. A strand is part of rope or bond, while stranding means being washed up on the shore. And being stranded is when you can't go home. I'm stranded now, Sam. Here on the shore of the Pacific. Thousands of miles away, but our bond still holds. You're free, but we're still connected. Don't tell me we're not. Come back, Sam. I'll be waiting for you.
Wow.
Wait!
Ah.
Sam. Sam, this is Di Hardman. You were out like a log. Must have been beat. Private rooms come with all the basic amenities. Shower, toilet, etc. Drop in when you need to rest. Inspect your gear, review info, or whatever else. If you have any questions, feel free to ask our staff. But before you do, why not check things out for yourself? See how Bridges operates these days. With that terminal there, you can browse the Bridges database, which has info on a range of subjects. You don't have clearance for everything, but there's still plenty you might find informative.
Alright, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Ooh. That was a little bit of frame drop, wasn't it? Be right back. I gotta get my snack anyway. Oh. Icelandic provisions skyr. Got strawberries in it. So that's what we're gonna have when I get back in. It's a nice map. So
Hey there. Believe we've met. I oversee delivery operations as well as maintenance and repairs. Nice to have you on board. I'm Mama, in case I didn't mention it before. Those there are strands. Not just used for packing, by the way, but for identification too. Take a closer look and you'll see. See the red there? That's your blood.
all right.
Sam, this is Deadman. I calibrated your BB based on physiological data we collected from you earlier. It's still just the best guess, though. After you take it out for a spin, we can check if you're in sync and tweak the BB sensitivity as needed.
Okay.
This case will remove any chiral matter still clinging to your suit. Speaking of suits, blue is for delivery personnel, red for medical, orange for corpse disposal, and black for security.
Okay. So it's a good yogurt. Definitely low sugar. I mean, it does say it, but it does say only 10 grams of sugar, but that's 10 grams of sugar is still a lot of sugar. Because let's be honest, if you ate 10 grams of sugar, that would not be a fun time. Well, it might be a fun time for a little bit, but the come down is going to be a very different case altogether. That was pretty good. Watch your tail, buddy. Okay, so yeah, I figured this was travel music.
Today I'm kinda feeling like a ghost. Call my friends, but ain't nobody home.
Oh, baby.
Some resist the future, some refuse the past, even when it's messed up.
音の中で君を探してる霧の中で朽ち果ててもさまよう闇の中で
Ghost of love just getting me. There's something that's uncomforting. Your body runs away with me, but I'm exactly where I wanna be.
I was debating about making some coffee, and then I realized it's 3 fucking in the morning, so
I know your voice, I know your face. Is there something
I think actually I think I might I think I'm gonna cut the game for tonight after this song, because it's, I'll be honest, guys, it's the cutscenes. No. I love the game. I'm not done playing or anything like that. It's just it's late already. I've been on for almost 3 hours now. And
Sam Hartman here, researcher devoted to uncovering the secrets of the beaches and the Death Stranding, as well as those of dooms and repatriates. When you relieve yourself, a certain amount of chiral matter is flushed from your system. Chiral matter can adversely affect hormone secretion and nervous function. There's a correlation between exposure and the development of phobias, as well as, in extreme cases, violent and suicidal impulses. Chiralium contamination has even been postulated as a trigger for the onset of dooms. Allow me to collect a sample of your excretions for my studies. They provide a non-invasive means to monitor your exposure to chiralium and your overall health.
All right. I wonder how long he sat here to do like the mocap for all of that.
Well, have you had a chance to think it over? Chock full of chiralium, but safe for you Dooms guys to wear. That's all you'll need to go forth and reconnect the world. To make us whole again.
I'm a porter. I don't care about connecting anything. Or making knots. But I'll do what I have to help Amelie out.
Listen up, Sam. The terminals Amelie's people built in the towns and cities they passed through on their journey west are called knots. The infrastructure's there, but the Cairo network is offline. Right now, it's only capable of transmitting voice communications, sometimes wired, sometimes wireless, and a small amount of data. So, unless the necessary data is stored on site, our chirograms won't show up. Emily and the other Bridges members you've seen around the place are grams generated with local data. In case you didn't know. Anyway, all you gotta do is find the knot, connect your Cupid, and bring Cairo Communications online. Once you connect it to the terminal, you'll be able to initiate zero-time massive data transmission with the UCA network. And just like that, you'll reconnect us not only to each other, but to our past. All the lost and fragmented junk data will be compiled and restored. Like bringing a dinosaur back to life from a fossil. 4.6 billion years of history on Earth. All the wisdom and knowledge we lost since the Death Stranding will be ours again. And that, my friend, is how we'll beat this thing. Once you establish Cairo Communications, generating grams won't be an issue. You'll also be able to use Cairo printers. Won't be long before we're able to send all kinds of things through the wire.
Except anything original. Or that's got a soul. Nothing real. Just copies.
True. Which is why we'll still need porters like you. Before and after we're made whole, we'll need men in the middle.
No rest for the wicked, huh?
Yeah, well, idle hands and all that. We'll give you the details at the dispatch terminal. Make sure you check it upstairs. Truck's waiting up there, too.
These shoes look like they've done some serious miles. Shall I dispose of them?
Wait. Hold on. There's something I want you to look into. My blood seemed to set those things off. Happened more than once.
Set them off? How do you mean?
I don't know. You took my blood, didn't you? You tell me.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Take care of him. I promise. Baby. Baby. You hear me? Steady.
Damn, Sam. There we go.
Sam, this is Die Hard.
Duh.
Your current objective is to extend the Cairo network from here to Port Knot City. But don't think you can make a beeline straight for it. Signal won't carry that far. To cover the distance, we need to utilize knots. Think of it like tying ropes together to make a longer rope. The first of these knots is a Bridges Way station. Go ahead and take a look at the order. Deliver whatever they need, and connect the Cupid. Sam, order summaries may contain information critical to your success. Make sure to review them before getting underway. Sam, we've supplied you with some rope and a ladder for this run. They should help with the steeper inclines, and the ladder will also make a halfway decent bridge if you need to cross a river. Right now, I figure you're thinking about how you want to handle this order.
And have a pleasant journey.
Sam, triple checked your loadout, I take it?
Mm-hmm. So I am going. Let's see. All right. All right, guys. So it's been almost 3.5 hours. I don't know if I have it in me tonight to do all this hiking. That is a long ass route. And I would prefer to do that tomorrow during the day. After I've had some sleep and some coffee, and I've got some errands to do in the morning. Well, early afternoon. And after I get back, I'll come back and we will drop into here, and we will start our journey west, because that's where we're going. We're going west. Manifest destiny. Great journey. Westward expansion. So, let's check. Because I know I got some achievements today. Looking at some of the achievements. Okay, I see. Lots of secret achievements. Defeat a catcher. I wonder what that is. Rest in pieces. In a BT area, cut an umbilical cord for the first time without the BT noticing. I wonder how you do that. Okay. Just looking at some of the achievements available in Death Stranding. Trying to see if there's anything we can leave off of with that's interesting, but I'm not trying to force it. say I don't. Yeah, I guess we'll cut it here tonight. I'm pretty tired anyway. We are on our journey with Death Stranding. I'm still thinking about it. Especially the part where I was coming over the mountain and I got drowned and all that black stuff and everything, and you see the I think that was a whale or a killer whale or something that was there. All right. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna cut it here, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for Death Stranding. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you guys stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. I've been Josh with American Gnome Productions, and this has been the Gnome Show. You guys have a great night. I love you.